tests, and we've since begun dropping that pricing to more than 90%.
Fame and success don't guarantee a smooth life. These 8 actors, once celebrated on the big screen, now find themselves on the wrong side of the law. What led them to this point? Today we'll explore their childhoods, careers, personal lives, and the moments that changed everything. Join us as we uncover the lives of actors who fell from grace. Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic. The name that once ruled headlines for his outrageous persona and role in the bizarre world of exotic animals.
Pizza cook, the burger cook, I do most of social marketing, and I love every bit of it.
But behind the eccentricity lies a darker side. Joe Exotic, known to millions from Tiger King, is now serving a prison sentence for charges that shocked the nation. Joe Exotic, born Joseph Maldonado Passage, was once the flamboyant owner of a private zoo in Oklahoma. Known for his eccentric personality and Netflix's Tiger King, Joe's fame skyrocketed in 2020. But before he became the larger-than-life Joe Exotic, he was Joseph Allen Schreibvogel, born in rural Kansas and raised on a farm. Joe's childhood was tough. His parents, though from affluent farming backgrounds, ran a strict household with little affection. Joe often felt like he and his 4 siblings were treated more like farmhands than children. The family moved frequently, from Kansas to Wyoming to Texas, seeking better opportunities. Joe's only close sibling was his older brother Gerold, with whom he shared a love for animals and dreams of exploring the wild. After graduating high school in 1982, Joe became a police officer in Texas and was quickly promoted to chief of police at just 19. However, during this time, he was grappling with his sexuality. When Joe was outed as gay, his father rejected him, an experience that pushed Joe into a deep depression. He survived a suicide attempt, but the trauma drove him to West Palm Beach, Florida, where he began physical therapy and found solace in working with exotic animals at a local pet store. In 1986, Joe, his brother Gerold, and Joe's first partner, Brian Rhine, opened a pet store in Arlington, Texas. It was a modest but thriving business that reflected their shared passion for animals. However, tragedy struck in 1997 when Gerold was killed by a drunk driver. Devastated by the loss, Joe sold the pet store and used the settlement money from Gerold's death to open a small animal sanctuary in Oklahoma, naming it the Gerold Wayne Exotic Animal Memorial Park in his brother's honor. The park began as a refuge for unwanted exotic animals, starting with a deer, a buffalo, and eventually tigers. Joe's enthusiasm for the animals quickly turned into an obsession, but trouble followed. In 1999, Joe faced public backlash for shooting emus that had escaped during a rescue operation, though he avoided legal charges. Then, in 2001, his partner Brian died of an infection, deepening Joe's grief. Joe poured himself into building the zoo and developing a traveling animal show, performing magic tricks under stage names like Joe Exotic. Along the way, he hired employees, formed new relationships, including a tumultuous one with John Finley, and clashed with his business partner J.C. Hartpence. Their partnership ended violently, with threats and a loaded gun incident that resulted in Hartpence's arrest. Joe wasn't just known for his tigers. His bitter feud with animal rights activist Carol Baskin became the center of his life. Carol Baskin runs Big Cat Rescue and often criticized Joe Exotic's zoo, accusing him of mistreating animals. Joe didn't take this lightly. He fired back with online videos and even made a music video called Here Kitty Kitty that mocked Carol. Carol then sued Joe for using her organization's logo and won a $1 million judgment. Joe couldn't afford to pay, which made their fight even worse. Joe's anger toward Carol turned dangerous. He was accused of hiring a hitman to kill Carol Baskin, offering $3,000 up front with promises of more once the job was done. The man he hired, Alan Glover, was a zoo employee and known associate. However, Glover never followed through, instead taking the money and leaving town. What Joe didn't know was that federal agents had been monitoring him. Undercover recordings revealed his intent to harm Carol, solidifying the murder-for-hire charges. In addition to the murder-for-hire conviction, Joe faced 17 federal charges of animal abuse. Investigations revealed that he had illegally sold tiger cubs and falsified wildlife records. He also admitted to shooting 5 tigers under questionable circumstances, claiming it was to make room for other animals. Prosecutors painted a picture of a man whose financial and emotional instability pushed him to extreme measures. In January 2020, Joe was sentenced to 22 years in prison. His incarceration has since sparked further media coverage and public fascination, including his own claims of innocence and allegations that others involved in the zoo betrayed him. Now behind bars, Joe Exotic's life has become a far cry from the zoo owner celebrity he once was. But even in prison, his story continues to draw attention. He's written books, appeared in court for appeals, and remained a controversial figure. His story is a stark reminder of how fame and obsession can spiral out of control. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was once one of the most influential figures in Hollywood.
Done movies, and I kept wondering, why hasn't she done movies? And she said to me, I can't thank you enough. She had.
Born on March 19, 1952, in Queens, New York, he grew up in a modest Jewish household. Weinstein attended the University at Buffalo, where he developed a passion for film alongside his brother, Bob. Together, they founded Miramax in 1979, naming it after their parents, Miriam and Max. Initially distributing independent films, Miramax grew into a powerhouse, producing critically acclaimed hits like Pulp Fiction, The English Patient, and Shakespeare in Love. Weinstein was known for his aggressive, almost tyrannical approach to filmmaking and marketing. His methods earned him a reputation as both a genius and a bully, but his success was undeniable. The films he produced garnered hundreds of Oscar nominations, solidifying his place as a Hollywood kingmaker. However, behind the scenes, Weinstein was hiding a dark secret. In October 2017, investigative articles in the New York Times and the New Yorker revealed that dozens of women had accused Weinstein of sexual harassment, assault, and rape spanning decades. As a powerful Hollywood producer, Weinstein used his influence to manipulate, intimidate, and exploit aspiring actresses and employees, many of whom felt they had no choice but to comply with his demands for sexual favors in exchange for career opportunities. The crimes ranged from unwanted sexual advances to rape, with Weinstein allegedly luring women into private meetings, often under the pretext of professional discussions, before assaulting them.
Some water.
Actresses like Ashley Judd, Rose McGowan, and Gwyneth Paltrow came forward, sharing harrowing accounts of Weinstein's abuse of power. The revelations sparked the Me Too movement, a global reckoning for sexual misconduct in workplaces. As allegations piled up, Weinstein's empire crumbled. He was fired from his own company, expelled from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, and shunned by Hollywood. In May 2018, Weinstein was arrested in New York on charges of rape and sexual assault. His trial became a landmark moment for the Nodders Me Too movement. In February 2020, Weinstein was convicted of third-degree rape and first-degree criminal sexual act, receiving a 23-year prison sentence. In 2022, he was extradited to Los Angeles, where he faced additional charges, resulting in a 16-year sentence in 2023. Weinstein, now in his 70s, maintains his innocence and is serving his sentences in a New York prison. R. Kelly, born Robert Sylvester Kelly, is a famous American singer and songwriter, known for his hits like I Believe I Can Fly, Ignition Remix, and Step in the Name of Love.
Life! Y'all killing me with this! I gave y'all 30 years!
He was a significant figure in R&B music during the 1990s and 2000s, influencing the genre with his distinct voice and production style. However, his career has been marred by numerous allegations and legal issues. In 1994, a 27-year-old Kelly married his protégée Aaliyah, who was only 15 years old at the time. The marriage ended when Aaliyah's family discovered it. 2 years later, a woman filed a civil lawsuit against Kelly, claiming he had a sexual relationship with her beginning when she was 15. Kelly chose to settle the case out of court. In the early 2000s, Kelly faced accusations related to a controversial video, leading to a trial in 2008, where he was acquitted of child pornography charges. A video surfaced that allegedly showed Kelly engaging in inappropriate behavior with a young woman. This led to him facing 21 charges related to child sexual abuse images. Shortly after, Kelly was charged in Florida with 12 additional counts of producing such images after a police search of his home reportedly uncovered evidence. However, the Florida charges were dismissed when a judge ruled that the search warrant lacked proper justification. The Chicago case also ended in Kelly's favor when, in a 2008 trial, he was acquitted due to insufficient evidence to prove the girl in the video was underage. In 2017, news reported that the parents of 3 young women, all of legal age, claimed their daughters were being held against their will by Kelly, with some referring to it as a cult. This sparked further allegations from others, including claims of Kelly engaging in inappropriate relationships with minors. In 2019, the Lifetime documentary Surviving R. Kelly, which aired in a 6-hour format, brought more attention to Kelly's actions. Chicago police charged him with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse after acquiring a tape that allegedly showed him engaging in inappropriate behavior with a 14-year-old. Federal authorities also indicted him twice on charges related to the abuse of minors. By 2022, Kelly was found guilty in both federal trials and received a 31-year prison sentence. He is currently serving his sentence at FCI Butner Medium 1 in North Carolina, with a potential parole eligibility in 2047 when he will be about 80 years old. His case has sparked much-needed conversations about power dynamics in the music industry, the protection of young women, and the long-term impact of sexual abuse on survivors. Tammy Sitch. Tammy Sitch, known by her ring name Sunny, is a former professional wrestler and one of the most notable female stars of the 1990s during her time in the WWE.
Well, I was a big source of the heat between Sean and Brett because Sean thought I was banging Brett, but I wasn't. Brett and I were just very good friends.
Formerly WWF. She is remembered for her role as a manager and valet, often accompanying wrestlers to the ring and playing a key part in storylines. Sitch became known as one of the first and most prominent divas in professional wrestling, and her appearance helped redefine the role of women in the industry. She was also a part of several championship-winning teams and had a successful career as a wrestling personality, making her one of the most recognized figures from the Attitude Era. However, Sitch's career and life outside of the ring have been marked by numerous legal and personal struggles. These have included arrests, legal battles, and issues with substance abuse, which overshadowed her early success in the wrestling world. In recent years, Sitch has faced serious legal consequences. In March 2022, Sitch was involved in a tragic car accident that took the life of 75-year-old Julian Lassiter in Ormond Beach, Florida. Sitch was driving her car when it collided with Lassiter's, causing the elderly man's car to crash into another vehicle. According to the police report, Sitch had a blood alcohol level of 0.280, which is more than 3 times the legal limit for driving in Florida. After the accident, Sitch was arrested and charged with DUI manslaughter, which led to her facing severe legal consequences. The charges were serious because the crash resulted in a fatality, and her high blood alcohol level made the situation even more concerning. Following her arrest, Sitch spent several months in jail while awaiting her trial. In 2023, after months of legal proceedings, Sitch pleaded guilty to the charges of DUI manslaughter in the death of Julian Lassiter. The court sentenced her to a lengthy prison sentence, acknowledging the severity of the crime. She was sentenced to more than 17 years in prison for the DUI manslaughter charge, and this case highlighted the tragic consequences of driving under the influence. She is currently serving time for the accident, and her legal issues have continued to draw attention, especially given her once prominent status in the wrestling world. Danny Masterson. Danny Masterson, best known for his portrayal of the rebellious Stephen Hyde in the hit sitcom That 70s Show.
More photos of Commando Kutcher here, naked in a club, than probably anybody.
No way. Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Enjoyed a highly successful career in Hollywood before his life took a dramatic turn. Born in 1976 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Masterson grew up in a family immersed in show business. His mother was a talent manager, and his younger brother, Christopher Masterson, also found fame as an actor, notably starring in Malcolm in the Middle. Danny began his career early, appearing in commercials and working as a model before transitioning to acting. By the time he was a teenager, he had already landed guest roles in popular shows like The Wonder Years and Roseanne. His big break came in 1998 when he was cast as Hyde, a sarcastic, music-loving slacker in That 70s Show. The show ran for 8 seasons, cementing Masterson as a fan favorite and one of Hollywood's rising stars. However, after the show ended in 2006, Masterson's career trajectory began to falter, overshadowed by serious allegations and legal issues. In 2017, reports surfaced that multiple women had accused Masterson of sexual assault, with allegations dating back to the early 2000s. The accusations led to investigations, and in 2020, Masterson was formally charged with 3 counts of forcible rape. The charges stemmed from separate incidents involving 3 women between 2001 and 2003. Masterson, a longtime member of the Church of Scientology, faced additional controversy as the accusers alleged the church had attempted to intimidate and silence them when they initially came forward. These claims added a layer of complexity to the case, as the Church of Scientology's practices and influence became a focal point during the trial. The trial began in October 2022, and the testimonies of the accusers painted a grim picture of alleged manipulation, coercion, and violence. Despite Masterson's repeated claims of innocence and his plea of not guilty, the evidence against him proved compelling. On May 31, 2023, the jury found him guilty on 2 of the 3 charges of rape. In September 2023, he was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison, with eligibility for parole only after serving the minimum sentence. The 3rd charge resulted in a mistrial due to a hung jury. The fallout from the case was swift and far-reaching. Netflix dismissed Masterson from his role in The Ranch, and his longtime representation with United Talent Agencies ended abruptly. Former colleagues and fans alike expressed shock and disappointment, as the actor's reputation was permanently tarnished. The trial also reignited debates about accountability in Hollywood and the systemic barriers survivors face when pursuing justice, particularly when powerful organizations like the Church of Scientology are involved. Masterson's conviction marked a sobering end to a career that had once been full of promise. Once celebrated for his comedic timing and on-screen charisma, his legacy is now overshadowed by the criminal charges and the harm inflicted on his victims. The case continues to serve as a reminder of the importance of addressing abuse and ensuring that survivors' voices are heard. Elizabeth Holmes. Elizabeth Holmes, once hailed as a visionary entrepreneur,
To become the first company advocating for FDA regulation of lab-developed tests, and as part of that, we
became a symbol of Silicon Valley's dark side due to the scandal surrounding her health technology company, Theranos. Elizabeth Holmes was born on February 3, 1984, in Washington, D.C., into a privileged and well-connected family. Her father, Christian Holmes IV, worked in various senior roles for government agencies like the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, while her mother, Noel Holmes, worked as a congressional staffer. Elizabeth's lineage included ties to Charles Fleischmann, the founder of the Fleischmann Yeast Company, and her family often emphasized the importance of hard work and ambition. From a young age, Holmes exhibited an intense drive to succeed and a keen interest in science and technology. She was known to be highly competitive and focused, with a knack for setting ambitious goals. As a child, she was curious and studious, reportedly writing letters to her father expressing her desire to achieve greatness and make a significant impact on the world. Holmes attended St. John's School in Houston, Texas, where she excelled academically and showed a particular aptitude for mathematics and science. Influenced by her father's work in public service and her own fascination with innovation, she aspired to create something that would have a profound and lasting impact. Her entrepreneurial dreams began taking shape during her teenage years when she developed an early interest in biomedical engineering. Holmes enrolled at Stanford University in 2002 to study chemical engineering. At Stanford, she thrived under the mentorship of Professor Channing Robertson, who would later become a key advisor and supporter in her career. Holmes was inspired by advancements in healthcare and nanotechnology and was deeply interested in finding ways to make diagnostic testing more efficient and accessible. During her time at Stanford, Holmes conceived the idea that would become the foundation of her company, Theranos. She envisioned a device capable of conducting a wide range of medical tests with just a small drop of blood, eliminating the need for traditional venous draws. Holmes believed this innovation could democratize healthcare by providing affordable, rapid diagnostic testing to people worldwide. In 2003, at the age of 19, Holmes made a bold decision to drop out of Stanford and dedicate herself fully to her idea. She used her tuition money to fund the early stages of her startup, initially named Real-Time Cures before being rebranded as Theranos. Holmes's passion, combined with her ability to inspire others with her vision, helped her attract substantial financial backing and recruit top-tier talent. Holmes's charismatic personality and unwavering belief in her mission captivated investors, including some of the world's wealthiest individuals and influential figures. Her ability to pitch Theranos as a revolutionary force in healthcare was instrumental in the company's rapid rise. Theranos quickly attracted attention, gaining significant financial backing and an impressive board of directors that included high-profile figures like Henry Kissinger and George Shultz. At its peak, the company was valued at $9 billion. and Holmes became the youngest self-made female billionaire, gracing magazine covers and being compared to Steve Jobs, whom she idolized. However, by 2015, investigative reporting by the Wall Street Journal began to unravel Theranos' claims. Journalist John Carreyrou exposed that the company's blood testing technology, specifically the Edison device, did not work as promised, and that Theranos often used traditional machines from other companies to produce results. Allegations of deceptive practices, misrepresentation to investors, and compromised patient safety emerged. In 2018, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, charged Holmes and Theranos' former COO, Ramesh Sunny Balwani, with massive fraud, alleging they raised over $700 million from investors through false claims. Federal prosecutors later filed criminal charges against both, accusing them of defrauding investors and patients. Holmes' trial began in 2021 and captivated public attention. She admitted to certain mistakes, but denied knowingly misleading anyone. Despite her defense, a jury found her guilty in January 2022 on 4 counts of fraud. In November 2022, she was sentenced to 11 years and 3 months in prison and began serving her sentence in May 2023. Holmes is currently incarcerated at a minimum security federal prison in Texas. Chris Wu, moving on to Chris Wu, also known as Wu Yifan, is a Chinese-Canadian artist who rose to fame as a singer, actor, and model.
Always haven't been like that, yeah.
So when was the last time you guys actually talked?
Me and my dad?
Yeah.
Born on November 6, 1990, in Guangzhou, China, Wu later moved to Vancouver, Canada, with his mother after his parents divorced. Growing up in a multicultural environment, he displayed an early interest in sports, particularly basketball, but eventually turned his focus toward the entertainment industry. Chris Wu's big break came in 2012 when he debuted as a member of EXO, one of South Korea's most popular K-pop groups, under SM Entertainment. As part of EXO, Wu gained international fame, contributing to hit songs like Growl and Overdose. He was known for his charismatic stage presence and versatility, serving as a rapper, vocalist, and dancer within the group. However, in 2014, Wu left EXO and filed a lawsuit against SM Entertainment, citing unfair treatment and exploitation. His departure marked the beginning of his solo career, and he quickly transitioned into a multi-hyphenate star. Wu found success in China as a solo musician, actor, and fashion icon. His music blended Mandarin, English, and Korean, appealing to a global audience with hits like July and Deserve. Wu also acted in blockbuster films such as Mr. Six and Hollywood's XXX, Return of Xander Cage. Additionally, Wu became a major figure in the fashion world, walking runways and attending events for luxury brands like Louis Vuitton and Burberry. By the late 2010s, he was regarded as one of China's top celebrities and a prominent representative of Chinese pop culture on the global stage. However, in July 2021, Chris Wu's career took a dramatic turn when allegations of sexual misconduct surfaced. A young woman accused him of luring her and other women, including minors, under the guise of professional opportunities. The allegations led to widespread outrage on Chinese social media, and more individuals came forward with similar claims. These accusations sparked an official investigation, resulting in Wu's arrest on suspicion of rape in August 2021. Wu faced trial in Beijing, where he was charged with raping 3 women between 2018 and 2020. In November 2022, the Beijing Chaoyang People's Court found him guilty of rape and organizing group sexual activities. He was sentenced to 13 years in prison and ordered to be deported after completing his sentence. Additionally, Wu faced a significant financial penalty for tax evasion, further solidifying his fall from grace. Following the allegations, brands and organizations swiftly severed ties with Wu, including high-profile endorsements from luxury fashion houses and technology companies. His music was removed from streaming platforms, and his social media accounts were shut down in China. Wu's case became a pivotal moment in China's Me Too movement, sparking discussions about accountability and abuse of power in the entertainment industry. Will Hayden. Will Hayden, once celebrated as a master gunsmith and television personality, is now remembered for a dark and troubling downfall.
Jack, and I'd like to welcome you to my party.
Known for his role on the reality TV series Sons of Guns, Hayden built a reputation as a skilled craftsman and entrepreneur. However, his career and public image unraveled after a series of legal issues culminated in convictions for sexual crimes. Will Hayden was born in Louisiana in 1965, growing up in the heart of the South, where guns were as much a part of life as sweet tea and crawfish boils. He was obsessed with firearms from a young age, tinkering with mechanics and dreaming of building his own weapons. His time in the Marine Corps gave him the technical expertise to back up his passion, and after leaving the service, he decided to turn that dream into a reality. In 1999, Hayden founded Red Jacket Firearms in Baton Rouge. The shop specialized in custom guns and quickly earned a reputation among enthusiasts. If you wanted a gun that was equal parts functional and badass, Will Hayden was your guy. Then came Sons of Guns. The show premiered on the Discovery Channel in 2011 and took viewers behind the scenes at Red Jacket Firearms. It wasn't just about guns, it was about the drama of running a family business. Hayden was the gruff but lovable boss, and his team worked on some crazy projects, from restoring antique guns to building flamethrowers. The show was a hit. People loved the mix of engineering and reality TV drama. Hayden became a household name, and business at Red Jacket Firearms exploded. For 4 seasons, it seemed like everything Hayden touched turned to gold. But like so many reality TV stars, Hayden's on-screen persona didn't quite match up with reality. The first red flag? In 2009, Red Jacket Firearms had a major hiccup when they lost their federal firearms license over paperwork issues. Sure, they kept the business going by transferring the license to an employee, but it was a messy look for the company. Then came 2014, and everything came crashing down. Hayden's own daughter accused him of sexual abuse, and that was just the beginning. As the story broke, other women stepped forward with their own allegations, and things spiraled out of control fast. In August 2014, Hayden was arrested on charges of aggravated rape and indecent behavior with juveniles. The accusations were horrifying. Multiple underage girls, some as young as 12, came forward with claims of abuse. For fans of Sons of Guns, it was a jaw-dropping revelation. The Discovery Channel wasted no time canceling the show, and Hayden's world began to unravel. Prosecutors built a damning case against him, and in April 2017, he was convicted of 2 counts of aggravated rape and 1 count of forcible rape. The sentence? 2 life terms plus 40 years. No chance of parole. Hayden went from TV star to convicted criminal, his legacy forever tarnished. Red Jacket Firearms tried to distance itself from Hayden, rebranding under a new name, but the damage was done. The company struggled to shake off the scandal and eventually shut its doors for good. While fame might bring fortune, it doesn't make anyone untouchable. These 8 actors remind us that actions have consequences, no matter how big your name is on the marquee. Which story surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into Hollywood's hidden stories. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.